Ladies and gentlemen, Dalavina, and a very good morning to all of you. I do not intend to make a very long speech because I see the young men and women from the correction services sitting in the hot sun. So I'd like to just make some very quick and salient points regarding the opening of this women's correction facility here in Lautoka. This is for the first time, ladies and gentlemen, that we actually have a women's correction facility specifically built for women based outside of Suva. This essentially signifies a number of key issues in terms of government's priorities and indeed our overall commitment to human rights, to the protection of the very practical and tangible rights of people who are incarcerated through the criminal justice system. Firstly, ladies and gentlemen, as you know, since the colonial times, we've only had one women's prison, which is in Suva, which has meant that any persons, any females convicted of any crimes have always had to be relocated from all other parts of Fiji to Suva. What does this mean? It means it minimizes the ability of their family members, minimizes the ability of the children and other relatives to be able to constantly be in touch with those family members of those who are incarcerated, which again means that they have less support as far as they are concerned. We've had situations, for example, women who have been incarcerated or have been convicted, they've had young children. In instances, we've had babies who needed to be breastfed. So the ability for that to actually happen is very much minimized. So we are actually denying these women, or have been denying these women, those fundamental rights of theirs. By building this facility, which is, all the facilities here, which you'll see, which includes this site, of course, the K9 unit, the other quarters for the wardens that will be here, in excess of close to about $4 to $5 million. Now, this investment for government is a very small price to pay to ensure that we are able to fulfill the rights of these people. Because the reality is, ladies and gentlemen, any society, or no society in fact, can be seen to be progressive, can be seen to be inclusive, if we do not cater for those who are on the periphery of our society, who are on the margins of our society. So even though a person may be convicted, it does not mean we deny them their fundamental rights. Unfortunately in Fiji, many people have talked about human rights. You see people talking on social media with absolutely no sense of what in a practical and tangible manner does human rights mean. They simply are making comments without any understanding of it. From our perspective, human rights must actually have a very tangible and practical output. And this is a manifestation of that practical implementation of the rights of individuals who are incarcerated. Government's approach, as you know, through the Commissioner of Correction Services also, we have the Yellow Ribbon Program. Because the idea is to reduce the rate of recidivism, and indeed, the rate of recidivism in Fiji has come down significantly over the past number of years. Recidivism, for those of you who may not know, is that if a person goes to prison for the first time, do they go back in again? And as you know, that it can be a very vicious cycle. Once people get incarcerated, there has been a tendency when they come out, if they do not have the right support, if they do not have access to employment, if they do not have the community support, then they tend to go back in again. And at one stage in Fiji, the rate of recidivism was 50%. In other words, 50% of those people who got incarcerated for the first time went back in again. This, of course, we have reduced over the past few years. And this has been reduced because of the fact that we provide an enabling environment. an enabling environment both within whilst they're incarcerated and outside once they get out. So the idea is to provide rehabilitation. The idea is to ensure that when people are incarcerated, they are treated with dignity. If you treat any human being with a sense of dignity, they'll respond to you a lot better. If you do not treat them with dignity, if you do not give them that dignity, they won't respond to you. They will actually rebel. They won't actually listen to you. This enabling environment, if you look at it, has been built in the best attempt to comply with international standards, and indeed is compliance with international standards. We have seen other facilities that have been built through the Commissioner of Correction Services. You know that we had one built in Suva just a few years ago. Again, that's built to international standards. Government has outlaid a substantial amount of money to ensure that other centers in Ba, in Tavyuni, in Vanuatu, those other facilities also meet up with the standards. So ladies and gentlemen, this is a very momentous occasion. And as the Commissioner of Correction Services has informed us, there will be from Monday, those convicted persons, the women convicted persons who are from the Western Division will actually move to Lautoka from Monday, which means that those women will be able to have access to their family members. It makes it a lot easier for them to come and visit them. It gives them that level of connectivity. We have 24 places here for those who will be convicted and 24 remand prisoners. And again, that's very important. A lot of people do not understand the distinction. There needs to be a distinction made between remand prisoners and those who are actually convicted. We've had, of course, issues with Lautoka in the men's prison side where there has been what we call a mingling of remand prisoners and convicted prisoners. And we've been making all those attempts to have that separation. And that separation is very, very critical, and we'll continue to do a lot more work in that area. The other issue, of course, ladies and gentlemen, that is very important for us to be able to understand is that for decades in Fiji, in the criminal justice system, the correction services was the most neglected area. We've had, for example, people are very interested, the media is very interested, for example, when there is a particular or allegation of a criminal activity or criminal offense or commissioning of an offense. It's in the media. When people appear before the court system, people are very much aware of it. And then if somebody does get convicted, then we only report they've been convicted and we tend to forget about what happens to them afterwards. There's been absolutely no sense of public scrutiny after the event of sentencing. So what we have tried to do over the past number of years to ensure that we put that in the public space. So you would have seen the Commissioner of Correction Services and their team going out to the community, having the Yellow Ribbon program. This animal here, this pig here, obviously comes from the farm. Now the prisoners obviously know how to rear pigs. They know how to rear chickens. They know how to plant dalo and cassava and various other fruits and vegetables. It gives them that ability to know what to do afterwards. We have carpentry, we have joinery. We have seen, of course, the wonderful project last night. The Commissioner of Correctional Services was telling me that they had the art exhibition. We have now artists who are prisoners, whose art is being sold and bought by tourists who actually come and visit the Korovo prison. Across the road you have the art exhibition. These are wonderful initiatives. It gives people a sense of empowerment. So we'll continue to invest in that. We obviously will continue to invest in these wonderful prison wardens who actually look after these prisoners, who provide that particular service. As you know, a few years ago, we had the increment through the job evaluation exercise, the fulfillment of the job evaluation exercise. We need to ensure there's been about 44 recruits yesterday, Commissioner? 44 recruits. We need to provide specific career paths for them and those who are already within the system to be able to get them to be more educated, more formal training whilst they're even in employment. And I'd like to thank and take this opportunity to thank all those prison wardens who've actually been with the service. They provide a very pivotal and key role in respect of rehabilitation, in respect of looking after the facilities, and also to ensure that those people who actually are punished through the criminal justice system do their time, do serve their time, because that builds integrity within the system. Because those police officers who are here, their jobs will be better fulfilled. They will also get personal satisfaction if people who need to be brought to justice are brought to justice. And when they are actually sent to prison, they are actually put in an environment where they do actually serve their time for the fact that they've committed an offense. But at the same time, we do not want them to re-offend once they come out. So ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to once again thank all those who've been involved in this project. This is, like I said, a momentous project for the Western Division. We look to doing more exciting things, working together with the Commissioner of Prisons and his team. And as Tala had mentioned, that the prison wardens, we need to inspire them to do well, and we're here to obviously ensure that they do well. We give them the right environment. I was just watching the traditional ceremony. It reminded me of the COP23 delegation, which the Honorable Prime Minister led, and which the Honorable Prime Minister has received enormous accolades, and indeed Fiji has received enormous accolades in respect of the manner in which the Fiji actually conducted the COP23 presidency. And of course we have it for the next one whole year. But it was for the first time, we were all very proud, for the first time in the 23 COP23 events, that such a traditional ceremony was actually presented at the plenary session, the opening of COP23. Never before. The type of publicity, we had something like 30 to 35,000 people coming every day to these pavilions where Fiji actually had a pavilion. That type of publicity, that type of exposure, money cannot buy. But it was an opportunity for us to be able to showcase our tradition, our culture, but also to at the same time tell the rest of the world that how countries like Fiji are the cold face of climate change, but at the same time we have the ability to bounce back, have the ability to build back better, ability to build resilience, not just in our infrastructure but in our people, to ensure that we are able to withstand this global phenomena. So ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to once again thank everybody involved, the Commissioner of Correction Services, his team, the people who've been involved in construction, the construction implementation unit from the Ministry of Economy, and all those who've been involved in this particular project. As we said, it's an ongoing issue for us, it's an ongoing challenge for all of us to ensure that we provide the right environment, to ensure that we have a good criminal justice system, and indeed build a much brighter future for everybody in Fiji and indeed for all Fijians. Thank you once again. Dank u wel, and I wish you a good day. Thank you. How are you? You ask me about it.
So this is the head of the unit with the tenor. Op die van ons.
You speak from here and back. this one boy should.
Hey, hey, hey. What happened to you?